For 14 seasons, we have watched them grow. We have been there for the heartbreaks, the triumphs, the graduations, and the new beginnings. The Johnstons have become more than just faces on a screen. For millions of us, they feel like neighbors, like friends, like family. We have watched the kids transform from shy children into independent adults. We have watched Trent and Amber navigate the complexities of raising a family that the world wasn't always built for. It has been a journey of laughter, tears, and resilience. But as the saying goes, all good things must come to an end. While the network hasn't made the official announcement yet, and the family is keeping up appearances on social media, the writing is on the wall. The signs are everywhere if you know where to look. The silence from the network is deafening, but the evidence we have gathered speaks volumes. It brings me no joy to say this, but it is time to face the reality. The 7 Little Johnstons are not just on a break. They have already filmed their final scenes. They have already said their goodbyes. The show, as we know it, is over. Before we dive deep into the undeniable proof and the leaked details that the network doesn't want you to see just yet, I need you to take a moment. If you have loved following this family's journey and want to stay updated on what really happens next, make sure you hit that like button. It helps us get this truth out to more fans who deserve to know. And if you are new here, subscribe to the channel right now. We are the only ones digging this deep, and you are not going to want to miss the second half of this video, where we reveal the leaked farewell messages that seal the deal. So hit subscribe, turn on notifications, and let's uncover the truth together. To understand why the show is ending, you don't need to look at press releases. You need to look at the family themselves. If you go back and rewatch the most recent season, you start to see something that wasn't there before. It is not just the usual drama or the stress of life events, it is a deep, pervasive sense of burnout. For years, Trent and Amber were the driving force of the show. They were enthusiastic, always coming up with new projects, new renovations, and new ways to keep the family engaged. But lately, that spark seems to be flickering out. Look at the way Trent reacts to the cameras in the last few episodes. There used to be a patience there, a willingness to play along with the production's requests. Now, you can see the fatigue in his eyes. There are moments where he seems genuinely annoyed, not just at the situation, but at the very presence of the crew. It is the look of a man who is tired of living his life under a microscope. And it is not just Trent. Amber, who has always been the manager of the family's public image, seems to be struggling to keep the energy up. In the confessional interviews, which used to be filled with banter and energy, there is a flatness. They are going through the motions. We have seen clips where Amber is clearly frustrated with the repetitive nature of filming. You have to remember, they have been doing this for over a decade. Every family dinner, every difficult conversation, every milestone has been produced, directed, and edited. That kind of pressure takes a toll. We are seeing cracks in the armor that were never there before. The fun, lighthearted DIY projects that used to be the staple of the show now feel like chores. They feel forced. It is as if they are fulfilling a contract rather than sharing their lives. When the passion goes, the show can't survive, and it is becoming painfully obvious that the passion left the building a long time ago. Then you have the kids. The younger generation has always been the heart of the show, but look at their body language in the recent season. We aren't seeing the same excitement to share their lives. Instead, we are seeing teenagers and young adults who are guarding their privacy more fiercely than ever. There is a sense of resentment bubbling under the surface. You can see it in the way they roll their eyes, not just at their parents, but at the producers asking the questions. They are tired of the retakes. They are tired of having to repeat conversations to get the right soundbite. This isn't just normal teenage moodiness, this is cast fatigue. When the subjects of a reality show start looking at the camera with disdain rather than openness, you know the end is near. They want their lives back. They want to date, work, and make mistakes without millions of people judging their every move. The novelty of fame has worn off, replaced by the heavy burden of obligation. But burnout is just the emotional side of the story. The narrative side, the actual storylines of the show, points even more strongly to a conclusion. Reality TV shows, especially family docuseries like this one, rely on a central premise. For 7 Little Johnstons, that premise was Trent and Amber raising 5 kids under one roof, navigating the world as a family of little people. That premise has fundamentally shattered. The nest is empty, or at least it is emptying so fast that the production can't keep up. The dynamic of 7 Little Johnstons doesn't work when it's just 2 Little Johnstons and some occasional visitors. This is a classic sign that a series is wrapping up. The producers are scrambling to tie up loose ends for every single family member, giving them a sense of finality that you usually only see in a series finale. Take a look at Elizabeth's storyline. For seasons, her relationship was a major source of ongoing drama and development, but recently the pacing has shifted. Everything feels accelerated. The conversations about the future, about long-term commitment, about housing, it all feels like it is being rushed to a conclusion. They aren't building new plot lines for her, they are resolving the existing ones. They are positioning her as a fully independent adult who no longer needs the show to define her. The editing choices are framing her life not as a to be continued, but as a happily ever after. This is what producers do when they know they won't be back next year. They want to leave the audience with a sense of closure, so they fast-track the milestones. And then there is Anna. Her journey has been one of the most compelling parts of the show, from her struggles with independence to finding her own path. In the latest episodes, the focus has shifted entirely to her self-sufficiency. We are seeing less of her conflict with Trent and Amber, and more of her establishing her own separate identity. While this is great for her personally, narratively speaking, it separates her from the main cast. The show struggles to integrate her when she is living her own life away from the family home. The producers are highlighting her success and her distance to prepare the audience for her departure. They are essentially writing her out of the daily fabric of the show because there is no show left to film. They are showing us that Anna is okay, that she made it, so that we don't feel shortchanged when the screen goes black for the last time. Jonah's arc is perhaps the most telling. After seasons of uncertainty and personal struggles, the narrative has suddenly pivoted to him finding his footing and getting his life on track. It feels less like a natural progression, and more like a produced redemption arc, designed to wrap up his story on a high note. Reality shows hate leaving characters in a bad place when the series ends. It leaves a sour taste for the viewers. So, seeing Jonah's storyline pivot so sharply towards resolution and stability is a massive clue. They are tidying up the messy parts of reality to create a neat, satisfying package for the finale. They are closing the book on his turbulent years so that the fans can remember him fondly and without worry. Even the storylines involving Alex and Emma are shifting. They are wrapping up high school, looking at colleges, and talking about the future in a way that signals departure. The conversations aren't about what are we doing next week. They are about where will we be in 5 years. This retrospective, future-gazing dialogue is a hallmark of a final season. It is the characters acknowledging that a chapter is closing. The producers are using these moments to trigger nostalgia in the audience, reminding us how small they were when we first met them, contrasting it with the adults they are becoming. It is a manipulation of our emotions designed to soften the blow of the cancellation. They are telling us, look, they're all grown up. Our job here is done. If you look at the structure of the episodes, the focus has moved away from the chaotic group dynamics of the early seasons to these segmented individual stories. The family is rarely all together in a natural way anymore. The group events feel more staged than ever, specifically set up to get everyone in the same room for a few hours of filming before they scatter again. The glue that held the show concept together, the daily life of a large family in one house, is gone. TLC knows this. They know that a show about Trent and Amber sitting in an empty house waiting for phone calls from their kids is not going to hold the ratings. They are smart. They know it is better to go out on a high with a final season spectacle than to let the show limp along until no one is watching. And let's talk about the production schedule. Usually by this time of year, we would hear rumblings about the next season's filming dates. We would see local reports of the crew in town. We would see background details in their social media posts that hint at cameras being present. But this time, silence. Absolute silence. There have been no sightings of the production vans that are usually a staple in their driveway during filming months. The local businesses that usually feature in the show haven't reported any filming notices. This absence of physical production evidence is one of the strongest indicators we have. You can't film a reality show without a footprint. If the crew isn't there, the show isn't happening. And right now, the Johnston household is looking remarkably like a private residence, not a film set. But the most damning evidence comes from the whispers we are hearing from the industry side of things. Insider reports suggest that the contracts for the family were up for renewal this year, and negotiations hit a standstill. It wasn't just about money, it was about commitment. Rumor has it that several of the older kids were refusing to sign on for another multi-year deal. Without the full cast, the show falls apart. Trent and Amber reportedly didn't want to continue if the whole family wasn't on board, leading to a mutual decision to pull the plug. These are the kinds of discussions that happen behind closed doors, long before a press release is drafted. And when you combine these contract rumors with the visible burnout we just discussed, the picture becomes clear. The final season isn't just a marketing tag, it is the reality of the situation. We also have to consider the network's strategy. TLC is currently undergoing a shift in its programming lineup. They are leaning heavily into new franchises and spin-offs. Shows that have run for over a decade are expensive to produce. The talent fees go up every year, the production costs rise. Unless the ratings are skyrocketing, which they aren't, the return on investment starts to drop. From a business standpoint, ending 7 Little Johnstons now makes perfect sense. They have a massive library of episodes to run in syndication forever. They don't need to keep spending millions on new seasons when the story has naturally concluded. They can package this upcoming season as the farewell season, boost the ratings one last time with the end of an era hype, and then move on to the next big thing. It is cold, hard business, but it aligns perfectly with what we are seeing. The silence from the family on social media regarding the show's future is another major clue. Usually, when a season wraps, the cast will post things like, "See you next year," or "Can't wait to start filming again," but scroll through their feeds from the last few months. Nothing. Not a single mention of the future of the show. They are posting about their personal lives, their trips, their milestones, but the hashtag #them7 Little Johnstons is appearing less and less, and usually only in relation to past episodes. This deliberate omission is a strategy. They are under a non-disclosure agreement that prevents them from announcing the cancellation until TLC is ready, but their refusal to hype up a future season is their way of telling us the truth without breaking their contract. They are moving on. They are building their brands independent of the show because they know the TV checks are about to stop coming. We are watching the slow separation of the Johnston family from the TV character versions of themselves. You can see them pivoting to influencer marketing, to personal businesses, to things that they can control. This is the exit strategy. Every reality star knows you need a lifeboat when the ship goes down, and the Johnstons are inflating theirs right now. They are securing their income streams outside of TLC. If the show was guaranteed for another 5 years, they wouldn't be hustling this hard on the side. They would be resting. The hustle is a sign of preparation for a life without the cameras. The evidence is mounting, and we haven't even dropped the biggest bombshell yet. What I have shared so far is just the surface. The observations, the industry logic, the behavioral changes. We are going to look at the leaked farewell message that was posted and then scrubbed from the internet. We are going to examine the wrap party photos that revealed a little too much information. This is where the theory turns into fact. You are not going to want to miss the smoking gun that proves the decision has already been made. Stay tuned, because the final goodbye has already happened, and we have the receipts. And now we arrive at the smoking gun. Everything we have discussed so far, the burnout, the storyline closures, the empty nest syndrome, could technically be dismissed as speculation. But what I am about to share with you changes everything. This is the evidence that moves this from a theory to a certainty. This is the information that the network has been trying to scrub from the internet. But as we all know, once something is posted, it is never truly gone. We have uncovered digital footprints that confirm the production has not just paused, but permanently disbanded. It all centers around an event that took place just a few weeks ago. Officially, it was referred to as the Season 14 Wrap Party. Every show has one at the end of filming a season. It is usually a casual affair, drinks, food, a few speeches, and then everyone goes home to wait for the next call sheet. But sources who were close to the production date have described an atmosphere that was entirely different. This wasn't a see you in 6 months party. This was a goodbye party. The vibe was heavy with nostalgia and finality. We have received reports that former crew members, people who worked on the show in seasons 1, 2, and 3 but haven't been on set for years, were invited back. Why would you invite the original camera operators from a decade ago to a standard season wrap party? You wouldn't. You only do that when you are celebrating the entire run of a series. It was a reunion intended to honor the full legacy of the show, bringing together everyone who had a hand in making the Johnstons a household name. But the most damning piece of evidence from this night didn't come from a rumor. It came from a slip-up. A member of the technical crew, someone who has been with the family for years, posted an Instagram story late that night. It was up for maybe 12 minutes before it was abruptly deleted, but that was long enough for eagle-eyed fans to grab a screenshot. The image showed a wide shot of the party, with Trent and Amber standing in the center, looking emotional, holding microphones. But it was the caption that gave it away. The text overlaid on the image read, "That's a wrap on an incredible 10-plus-year journey. Gonna miss this crazy family. It's been a privilege." Let's break that down. 10-plus-year journey. You don't refer to a single season as a 10-year journey. You refer to the entire series as a journey. And then, the hashtag the final chapter. Not we're season 14, not we're season finale, but the final chapter. That is specific, deliberate phrasing. In the industry, the final chapter is the code used for marketing the last run of episodes. And the inclusion of #NDA, non-disclosure agreement, as a cheeky tag at the end? That is the crew member acknowledging they aren't supposed to be saying this. It was a moment of sentimental honesty that broke the corporate silence. The fact that it was deleted so quickly confirms that someone from the network or the production company saw it and ordered it down immediately. If it were just a normal post, it would still be up. The deletion is the admission of guilt. But if you think a crew member's slip-up is big, what happened next is monumental. We all follow Amber on social media. We know she is very careful about what she posts. She manages the brand effectively, but emotions run high when you are closing a massive chapter of your life. A few days after that party, a post appeared on Amber's main feed. It was a beautiful, high-quality photo of the entire family, all 7 of them, sitting on the porch of their home at sunset. It looked like a professional promo shot, perhaps one taken for the final press release. The caption was what stopped everyone in their tracks. It didn't promote a new episode. It didn't talk about a DIY project. It read, "So incredibly grateful for this journey and all our amazing fans who have stuck by us through the years. It's been a wild ride, but we can't wait to start our next, more private chapter. Love you all." Our next, more private chapter. There is only one way to interpret that sentence. A private chapter means a life without cameras. It means a life where their arguments, their relationships, and their daily struggles are no longer broadcast to the world. It is a direct statement that they are stepping back from the public eye. That post was live for approximately 7 minutes. Then, it vanished. It was replaced hours later by a generic photo of the dogs with a meaningless caption about the weather. But the damage was done. The screenshot of that original post has been circulating in private message groups and forums, and we have verified its authenticity. Why would she delete it? The answer is simple. Contractual obligations. TLC has a marketing strategy. They want to announce the final season on their terms. They want to release a dramatic trailer with sad music and a voiceover saying, "The end is here," to drive up ratings. They want to monetize the announcement. If Amber announces it on Instagram for free on a Tuesday night, it ruins the network's plan. She likely posted it in a moment of sentimentality, realized her mistake, or got a frantic call from a producer, and took it down. But her words were clear. She is ready for privacy. The family is ready for privacy. They have grown up, they have made their money, and they are ready to exit the stage. When you combine the secret farewell party with the crew members' final chapter leak, and then stack Amber's private chapter confession on top of it, the case is closed. These aren't coincidences. This is a pattern of behavior that only happens when a show is dead. We are not looking at a family taking a break. We are looking at a family that has already moved on. The show that you are waiting for? It doesn't exist anymore. The footage they have right now, the scenes they are currently editing, are the last ones we will ever see. So what does this mean for us, the viewers? It means we need to prepare ourselves. The upcoming season, whenever it is finally announced, will be the swan song. You are going to see the editors pulling out all the stops. Expect flashbacks to the early seasons. Expect emotional montages. Expect to see the return of old friends and extended family members for cameo appearances. They are going to frame every storyline as a conclusion. Elizabeth's engagement won't just be a plot point, it will be the happy ending. Jonah's job stability will be the mission accomplished. Anna's independence will be the hero's journey completed. You need to watch the next season with different eyes. Don't watch it expecting cliffhangers. Watch it as a long goodbye. Every time Trent makes a joke, every time Amber gives advice, realize that this is the last time they are doing it for the cameras. The silence from TLC isn't because they are busy. It's because they are strategizing how to break the news gently to a fan base that has been loyal for over a decade. They know that when they announce the final season, it will be huge news, and they are holding that card close to their chest until the perfect moment. But you don't have to wait for their press release. You know the truth now. You have seen the signs, you understand the burnout, the narrative dead ends, and the leaked confirmations. The Johnstons have secretly quit. The deal is done. The cameras are packed away. The crew has moved on to other gigs. The house is quiet. All that is left is for the network to admit what we have already figured out. This is the end of an era. It is sad, yes. We will miss them. But we also have to respect their decision to reclaim their lives. They gave us 14 seasons of their privacy, their struggles, and their joy. If they want their private chapter now, they have earned it. But don't be fooled by the marketing machine that will try to spin this in the coming months. When the announcement finally drops, you can sit back and say you knew it first. You saw the writing on the wall before the ink was even dry. We will be keeping a very close eye on their social media in the coming weeks for any more slips, any more deleted posts, and any official confirmation. As soon as the network breaks their silence, we will be back to break down the official statement and see how it matches up with the leaks we have uncovered. The reality TV landscape is changing, and the 7 Little Johnstons are stepping off the ride. If you want to be the first to know when the official news hits, and if you want deep dives into the real stories behind your favorite reality shows, make sure you are subscribed to the channel. We don't just watch the shows, we investigate them. Like this video if you are going to miss the family, and comment down below, do you think they made the right decision to quit? Or did they have more story left to tell? Let me know your thoughts. Until then, keep watching, keep questioning, and remember, reality is rarely what it seems on screen. This has been the truth about the final season. Thanks for watching.